Finmore meets Dr. Puffer and Nurse Octi. Swoosh, beep, beep, rang Finmore Fish's alarm clock. It was 7 a.m. Soon Finmore would leave for Flora Village Elementary School. Finmore tapped off the alarm with his fin. His stomach hurt, and his head ached this morning. Finmore, it was his mother Fiona calling. I have plankton cakes for breakfast. Usually Finmore would be speed swimming out of bed to eat plankton cakes, but for some reason this morning they didn't sound so good. After swimming slowly to the table, Finmore said, You know, Mom, I'm not hungry. Fiona gave Finmore a questioning look. Are you feeling okay, Finmore? There was a fishball game after school, and Finmore, he didn't want to miss that. Oh, I'll be fine, Finmore said, as he hooked his fish backpack over his head and he headed to school. Swimming along, Finmore saw Frankie. Now, Frankie was Flora Village Elementary School's best fishball player. Hey, Finmore, you ready for a game this afternoon? I think so, said Finmore half-heartedly. You think so? What kind of attitude is that? Asked Frankie. Then Frankie took a really good look at Finmore. You don't look so good, Finmore. Are you okay? Frankie asked. I don't know. My head hurts, and my stomach is going round and round. Uh-oh, replied Frankie. You know what that means. Your mom, she's going to take you to old Dr. Puffer. Boy, do I feel sorry for you. Sorry? Why? Asked Finmore. Well, I haven't ever actually been to Dr. Puffer, but I've heard stories, said Frankie. What kind of stories? Finmore asked. Well, for one, Dr. Puffer is an old, cranky pufferfish in the deep, dark caverns, and for no reason he blows up like pufferfish do. He then calls his nurse Miss Octi, and she holds you with all 8 of her octopus tentacles while Dr. Puffer gives you shots. Well, exactly how do you know this? Asked Finmore. Well, Freya told Felix, and then Felix told Finley, and Fela told Farah, and Farah told me. And you know Farah Fish, she's much too pretty to make something up, said Frankie with certainty. Finmore looked at Frankie. Well, Farah is awful pretty, Finmore agreed. Later during class, Finmore felt worse than when he arrived. He had never been to the doctor. Wonder if Frankie was right about Dr. Puffer and Nurse Octi. I'll be okay, thought Finmore. But soon Finmore's gills became stuffy, and he started to wheeze. Phoo! Finmore's teacher turned around. Did I hear someone wheeze? She asked. Everyone was silent. Finmore did not move. Then suddenly Finmore gave the biggest, the loudest wheeze ever. Phoo! He was caught. Finmore heard his teacher say, Finmore Fish, can you swim forward, please? Finmore swam to the front of the room. Are you feeling okay, Finmore? Finmore pictured old Dr. Puffer and Nurse Octi. I think I just have a little cold, ma'am. I'm sure I'll be foo! The teacher placed her fin on Finmore's head. Why, Finmore, your temperature is high enough to turn our classroom water into steam. I'll call your mom. But, phoo! Before Finmore could disagree, he wheezed again. Soon, Fiona was at school. Come along, dear. We're going to go see Dr. Puffer, she said. With dread, Finmore followed his mom. They started swimming, but before reaching the dark channel, Fiona stopped suddenly. We're here, she said. Finmore looked at Flora Village Doctor's office. Why, this was no dark, dreary place. This place, like it had cool decorations on the door. It looked fun. But it isn't dark, Finmore asked. He was so worried he could barely talk. Dark? Fiona asked. Why, no, Finmore. Dr. Puffer is a pediatrician. His office is a cheerful place for little fish. Swimming in the door, Fiona began to cough. Finmore began to cough. Blurp, blurp, blurp. He coughed so hard the waters bubbled. Then, looking up, he saw a very pretty octopus smiling kindly at him. Why, young fish, that is a nasty cough. I'm Nurse Octi. Swim along with me and your mom. We want you to be feeling better soon, she said in a sweet voice. But you're not going to hold me with your tentacles for shots? Finmore asked. Of course not, Finmore, his mother declared. Just swim to these scales, dear. Let's see how much you weigh. My, 1.5 pounds already? Have you been eating too many of your mom's plankton cakes? Nurse Octi teased as she weighed Finmore, and Finmore just grinned. Holding out a thermometer, Nurse Octi said, "Open wide, dear." This really isn't too bad, Finmore thought as he held the thermometer in his mouth. My, declared Nurse Octi, you do have a fish fever. All at once the door swung open, and in swam a huge pufferfish. Good morning, young fish. Not feeling too good today, he asked with a look of concern. Dr. Puffer placed his fishoscope below Finmore's fins and directed, "Now let me just take a listen for a moment." Finmore was very still as Dr. Puffer examined him. When Dr. Puffer finished, he declared, "Young fish, you simply have caught a very bad fish virus." Handing Fiona some fish-filled pills, Dr. Puffer instructed kindly, "Fiona, give Finmore 2 of these when you get home, and he'll be just fine." Dr. Puffer patted Finmore caringly with his fin and wished him well before swimming to the next room. Wow, Mom, Dr. Puffer wasn't mean at all like Ferris said. Finmore stopped suddenly. He realized he had been wrong to listen to his friends. They knew nothing about kind Dr. Puffer and Nurse Octi. Finmore, just because fish are pretty or they're popular, they might not always tell the truth or even know the whole story. Don't judge other fish by what others say, said Fiona. Then she added, and remember, you can always come to me when you're worried about something. That's for sure, agreed Finmore. Well, let's go home, dear. I'll make you some hot plankton tea, Fiona said, giving Finmore a huge hug. Finmore swam along while thinking about his mom and Dr. Puffer and Nurse Octi caring for him if he ever got sick again. For the first time all day, Finmore's tummy felt very happy. So in the next few pages, there's coloring pages where children can actually learn about what different health professionals do. This is Finmore's friend, Dr. Atticus. You can color the page. This is Nurse Maria and Nurse Mike. You can color them as well. This is physical therapist Patrice. You can color that page. This is Sophia. She's a speech therapist. Again, another coloring page. This is Andel. He's a radiologist. Another coloring page. This is Dr. Thomas. He's a dentist. Another coloring page. And this is Dr. Karen. She's an optometrist. Another coloring page. Then there's things that you can find hidden in this picture. Like there's a thermometer, a stethoscope, different things. After you do that, then you try to tell the difference between this page and this page. There are differences. Can you spot them? And again, there's differences between this page and this page. So try to find all the differences between the two illustrations. The end.